12-year-old made us dinner last night. Like I was home when I was late. I left work. I was later last night. And so he made us chicken nuggets, mac and cheese.
Okay, folks, I'd like to get this started. Tony, will you please sit down? Come on, we're gonna sit. Only kidding.
Things up. I'll behave.
Okay, we're gonna open up our meeting on the downtown and Crouch Marshall Special Assessment Funds. I'm Pat Hogan. I'm the Economic Development Chair of the Council. I'm joined by fellow councilors Nave, Paniagua, and Jones-Rouser. And I think we're just gonna hand it over to you, America, and sort of give us a synopsis of what you do.
Sure, thank you. So my name is Marika Trier. I serve as the Executive Director of the Downtown Committee of Syracuse. And I'm joined by Tony Fiorito, who is our board chair. And then we also have some of our additional board members here. So Karen Cordeling with Possibilities, Nicole Simolas, who owns Epicuse and another property downtown as well, Joanne Gagliano, who is the vice chair of our board, and Ed Riley, who you all know, owns the Hotel Syracuse.
Yes, we all know Ed.
Celebrating 100 years this year. What I distributed was just a packet, an overview of what it is that the Downtown Committee does. So the Downtown Committee, we're a 501c4 not-for-profit organization, and our mission is downtown's revitalization. So all of the programs that we provide serve up to that mission. We have on slide number 2 is a map of our district. So we have 82 blocks in which we provide services. So properties within that district, in addition to their county and city taxes, also pay a downtown special assessment. And that funds a majority of our operations, but then as I'll go through later, you'll see how we make up additional funding resources. Our board consists of 15 board members, all appointed by the mayor, and our board is required to have 11 of them be downtown special assessment payers, which is important because it's our board who is providing the strategic direction for what it is that we do, and also the entity that is making the recommendation to the mayor for the downtown special assessment amount based on the services we provide. So our primary services are environmental maintenance. So our goal here is to ensure downtown is attractive, accessible, and clean. So we do litter patrol, we do graffiti removal, we hose out doorways. In the winter months, we assist property owners with their responsibility of plowing sidewalks so people can get through downtown Syracuse. We're moving into the summer months, so we mow lawns and trim hedges and also take care of street furniture repairs and replacements in partnership with the city of Syracuse. Slide number 4 is some of our additional beautification efforts. So every year, you'll see 355 hanging flower baskets installed throughout the downtown district. Those are all, the maintenance for those is funded all through sponsorships that we raise from stakeholders. We also do other flower plantings. We partner with the City Parks Department to make sure we're leveraging resources effectively. We will get funding to refurbish public art murals. We go after grant funds for such things as chess tables, which you'll find in Hanover Square. And then we've also tried to activate underutilized spaces and call attention to them with some cafe lighting that's installed in City Place between State Tower Building and the City Hall Commons atrium, as well as Bank Alley to help activate that area. We also provide security, so environmental maintenance and security are our 2 most visible programs. And our goal with our security program is to proactively address our constituent needs to ensure downtown remains one of the safest neighborhoods. So we have a special security line, 423 HELP, that anyone in downtown can call with quality of life issues. We work in very close partnership with the Syracuse Police Department. We hire retired law enforcement who patrol downtown 7 days a week. We do personal safety seminars. We have security cameras that we have purchased through Downtown Committee, but also grant funds and contributions that we then wire into the Syracuse Police Department to help augment their network. And then we also work very closely with our social service providers on homeless issues to try and connect individuals with the resources that are available. If you turn the page, slide number 7 starts talking about our economic development program. So here our goal is to address opportunities to further development and growth throughout downtown by providing information and resources. So one of our most valuable tools is a downtown database that we maintain of all the properties that allows us to put forward accurate information about what the market is doing, what the trends are, average rents. We also are often a first stop for any individuals looking to locate downtown, whether that's with a retail business, an office, or housing. So we provide a lot of resources that support those efforts. We work on tenant retention and tenant attraction. We provide a lot of information to financing institutions to help advise on the market impacts. And we also go after additional grant resources that we then act as a pass-through for to grant out to property owners for facade improvements or building renovation grants or affordable housing development. And then we also undertake special programs to address vacancies. So we'll work with property owners if they have a vacant storefront that's ready for use. We'll make a connection with like a pop-up retailer. If the space is not ready for a tenant to be able to move into, we have an Art in the Windows program, which I hope you've seen throughout Salina Street and the Armory Square area, just to activate those spaces so they feel more vibrant when visitors are walking by. The next few slides show some of our examples of packages. So we put together specialized property packages to let people know what space is available where, who do you contact, what is the average rent. We put together data reports, so we do a commercial occupancy report, both spring and fall, as well as a downtown development forecast that we put out to show what is happening development-wise in the central business district. As far as office, retail, and housing resources, we use our social media presence to do a Property of the Week feature, which has been really helpful not only in educating the public about what it is that we do at the Downtown Committee, but also to let people know what space is available where and who you can contact. We produce a housing guide, so there's more than 80 buildings in downtown that contain residential units. So this lists all of the locations and who you can contact and the amenities. And then we also put out retail resources. So each year, based on spending patterns, based on the types of businesses that are opening or not opening in downtown, we put out a retail wish list to let people know of opportunities to open businesses in the downtown area, as well as produce a storefront tips guide to let people know, right, lighting is really important. Having blade signage so your customers can find you is really important. Making sure you're sweeping up outside your storefront so your welcome mat is encouraging for visitors to come in. So we provide a lot of resources there. With our marketing and communications team, our goal is to overall promote downtown as a vibrant destination and encourage people to explore the district. So we have a website, downtownsyracuse.com, that has more information than you probably would ever want to know about downtown, but that's where you can find it. We produce, slide number 12, a weekly newsletter that has over 11,000 subscribers that packages everything that's happening in downtown. We started that years ago because people would always say, there's nothing to do in downtown Syracuse, so we wanted to prove that wrong. So the newsletter goes out every Tuesday to over 11,000 people. And then over our 4 social media platforms, we have over 28,000 followers. So we use that to get information out. Slide number 13 is an overview of the different brochures and guides that we produce. We also will run television or digital advertisements. So right now we have 3 different ads running over digital platforms. The theme is Let's Do Downtown Syracuse. So promotes all the different activities you can undertake. We also undertake earned media opportunities. So these are non-paid visibility opportunities for downtown that result from press releases that we put out about downtown events. So this is when you see the news or the radio covering events. And then we produce and deliver a number of signature events, is what we call them. So there are a lot of events that happen throughout downtown Syracuse. We organize a handful of them, and the events that we organize speak to supporting our constituents. So the first one we have, we just celebrated in March, our 20th anniversary of Downtown Dining Weeks, and that is effective at boosting traffic and spending at our downtown restaurants. We just, last week, had our Spring Progress Breakfast event, which we do those in the spring and the fall. We get about 400 to 450 individuals that attend those. They're always sold out, but those are a great opportunity for us to showcase and share on a specific theme the development that's happening throughout downtown Syracuse. Our goal is to give people talking points to walk away with why this is a great location to do business, to live, to work, to visit, and giving people the behind-the-scenes perspective of what is happening in downtown helps to better connect people with our central business district. This coming Saturday, we've got our annual Earth Day cleanup. So this is a way we get people to get tangibly involved in downtown Syracuse. We have about 300 individuals that participate. Moving into June, we'll go into our annual meeting and awards. So with that, we do a State of Downtown report highlighting all the investment that has taken place underway, as well as we recognize certain constituents with awards of excellence. We also produce the Downtown Farmers Market June through October, and that is a way to bring fresh fruit and produce to our residents, but also residents of our near south and near west side and near north side neighborhoods. We run the Syracuse Arts and Crafts Festival, which is slide number 20, that takes place every July. And last year, we were ranked number 11 in the country for contemporary arts and crafts festivals. This is the second largest event after Taste of Syracuse that takes place in downtown. So it's effective at bringing people into downtown Syracuse to explore and feel comfortable walking around, and ideally discover a restaurant or a business that they did not know was here. Then we move into our holiday programs. So we do holiday decorations, so wreaths or street tree lights to enhance the public spaces during the holiday time. We do billboard advertising, and we produce a guide to downtown during the holidays to let people know what it is they can do in downtown and give them gift ideas. And then we also organize a Window Wonderland walking tour. So we have over 40 storefronts that typically participate by dressing their storefront windows to evoke that department store holiday decoration feel to make it festive during the holiday months. And then slide 22 is just a snapshot of some of our social media program where we will do 30-second Instagram videos for our businesses, and we put those over our social media channels, but then we also give access to those businesses to be able to use on their platforms as well as a way to activate and showcase what it is that we offer. So all those slides were a very quick overview of what it is that we do, and then the next slides are how we're funded. So slide number 23 talks about our primary sources of revenue. So I mentioned our downtown special assessment. The special assessment is based on a number of factors. It's based on a property's location within downtown. It's based on a property's assessed value. It's based on a property's linear frontage, as well as if a property is a for-profit or not-for-profit entity. So not-for-profits still do pay a special assessment just at a lower rate. We also get earned revenue. So we produce those events that we ran through. We seek sponsorship for those events as well as ticket sales. So any surplus from those events goes back into our downtown programs, primarily funding our marketing and communications programs. And then we also have some parking lots that we operate. So we do monthly parking as well as evening and weekend parking for events and businesses. So that is all funded independently, and the surplus from those operations, again, goes back into our downtown committee budget to allow us to do what we need to do for downtown. And then finally, we have service agreements where we have a number of contracts and agreements to provide additional services. So that could be landscaping, it could be public space maintenance, it could be watering planters, it could be providing additional security for the downtown district. So slide number 24 gives an overview of how we use the downtown special assessment allocation. So you see about 30% of our special assessment is dedicated to environmental maintenance operations, which is on par with what it is currently. We have 30% of the proposed budget this year dedicated to economic development, which is about a 5% increase over what we have this current year. Security is 22% of our overall budget with a special assessment. Administration is holding steady at 16% of our overall operations. Marketing uses 1% of the downtown special assessment. And then we always have a reserve where we budget for uncollected special assessments, which is staying at 2% again this year. Slide number 25 talks about our overall downtown committee return on investment. So for every dollar of downtown special assessment invested in the downtown committee, we generate at least an additional 55 cents on that dollar to go towards programming, and that's a conservative estimate. Again, we raise additional resources through sponsorship activities, going after grants and contracts, service agreements. We are on our 7th round of New York Main Street grant funding. So with our previous 6 rounds, we've been awarded $1.45 million, which has leveraged over $55 million in investment in downtown Syracuse. So again, we go after additional resources to help support more development in the downtown area. But in addition to just the dollar investment, Slide number 26 talks about our engagement. So we provide neighborhood association support. So in addition to our board of directors that meets every other month, we also convene on a monthly basis different neighborhood groups. So we have an Armory Square Association, a Hanover Square Association, a Cathedral Square Association, which is around Columbus Circle, as well as a Southern Downtown Association. And this is how we engage most of our businesses and institutions and make sure that we have a pulse on what's happening in the neighborhood, that we understand their vision for what they'd like to see and how we can work with many partners, including the city of Syracuse, to make those visions come forward. And then we also use those as opportunities to share information in real time, whether it's about security concerns or things like that. We also have more than 50 downtown enthusiast sponsors, so 50 plus downtown companies commit annually to attending our events and supporting additional resources towards our programs. And then I mentioned like our volunteer opportunities like Earth Day. Residents is a growing population base in our downtown community, so we participate in the downtown TNT. We have established a downtown Syracuse resident Facebook page where they can share information on what's happening. We support their holiday activities. We run a Live Like a Local campaign using our downtown residents to give testimonials about their favorite things in downtown. And then we also are currently underway with refreshing our downtown resident survey to get information from them on why they choose to live downtown, just some demographic information and what they'd like to see. And then we're going to take that and continue throughout this year with some additional focus groups. So overall, and now leading into what is in your binders, is again just a quick overview of our budget. So our overall, when our budget committee made this recommendation, we prioritized staff retention, development, and staff capacity. We prioritized security, cleanliness, and beautification, as well as making sure we have, again, the capacity to be able to address a growing district. So we're going to have some major developments facing downtown with Interstate 81, construction and changes. Obviously, with Micron moving up north, how can we take advantage of secondary companies and others who would like to be downtown in close proximity, as well as just growing our city center. So we've seen a lot of development happen within the central business district. I think we certainly don't want downtown to be an island unto itself. So how do we make sure that we're looking at growth opportunities? So when you leave, right, the district that is paying for these services, that we're making that continuity between the districts, and certainly with Interstate 81, that physical boundary going away, we're going to have that long desired University Hill downtown connection. So how are we thoughtfully engaging with all of our different neighboring business districts to improve connectivity and support between the different districts? The end.
Very good, Miracle.
Hard act to follow.
You should give a class on that to some of our department heads, as far as getting the information out there. Are there any questions for my, we're joined by Councilor Gathers, too. Any questions?
Councilor Hogan, I was just going to say the same thing. I mean, America comes in here every time, totally prepared.
I wasn't
gives a
talking
great
about you as a
presentation.
department.
No, but America gives a great, she owns it. It's like always a good job. So thank you, America. We appreciate it.
Go back to your bagel there, Mr. Budget Director Rod. So are there any questions?
I'd like a little bit more about the background. When did this committee begin? I know I've heard.
Tony was there.
When did this start?
So next year, 2025, will be our 50th anniversary of the downtown.
50th.
50th. So we are gearing up for celebrations and milestone recognition.
Because it started at a very important time, when people wanted to leave downtown. You know, what you did was you formed a program.
I think it's probably the most valuable, important relationship that the city has as far as the economic center of the city. And certainly, I was there with the Parks Department, and we were all worked together. And Tony, of course, has shown his devotion for a lot of years. And, you know, as far as it's sort of, when I look back, it's just amazing what's transpired. And as you mentioned, what the opportunities that we have as far as with Micron and 81 coming down, and finally the knitting together of downtown with the university area, it's going to be pretty exciting. You're not planning on going anywhere, are you?
Yeah.
Not by choice.
This is going to be, you know, I think this positivity is just, if we can allow ourselves because we're cynical Syracusans. If we can allow ourselves to embrace it, it's going to be a great few years as we're coming up. I think our job as city councilors is to aid in the economic development of downtown and perhaps act as a way to facilitate some of the really important things that are happening, especially like on the business end. Right now, we did rezone, of course, and we're still feeling that out. We have a lot of new people in the city administration that might not be as adept as breaking through log jams as some of us older folks are. So and we're at your, anytime you want to call us, and I know you have a great relationship with the police department and economic development, you know, Eric and all that. Please let us know. And I want to just ask one question. How are you going to manage downtown for the last few years has become a neighborhood where people are living here, something we never would have thought would have happened to the extent that it has happened. So this, I always worry about some of the activities that we have downtown are not necessarily conducive, even though they're positive festivals and events, not conducive to maybe some of the neighborhood folks. And have you heard anything about that?
So we established, so the downtown resident page is a way for residents to communicate together.
How do they become aware of that?
So we try to get information out to the different managers of each of the properties to let them know what resources are available to their residents. And typically, like when a new apartment, like Symphony Place, for example, just started leasing in March. So we met with the leasing agents to make sure that they were aware of the different resources that we provide that can make their life easier in terms of attracting residents and providing information on, parking opportunities, events that are taking place, ways that they can get involved and engaged within the neighborhood. So that's one way we do that. Right now, we are updating our downtown resident survey because the last time that was updated and information was collected was back in 2016. So a lot has changed since then. And that is how we're, again, trying to get information pulled from our residents. So we have it going out in both a digital form, so a survey link, but then we have some harder to reach populations, like through the YMCA and Clinton Plaza, who we're going to actually do on-site focus groups and survey collection there. And then from that information, we'll be then taking that to the next level of having focus group conversations about, what are some of the challenges? Where do they see some of the growth opportunities? What are some areas that we need to focus on to better serve them as residents of the neighborhood?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like this group of people that'll be moving in. I mean, many people know I'm the chairman of the Onondaga County Industrial Development Agency, and dealing with Micron, the demographics are going to be such that 75% of the people that are coming in here to work are going to look for apartments. Yep. And the age demographics, seems to me, they're going to go only a few places. Mm-hmm. University area, Tipperary Hill, and downtown. So, I mean, how would somebody find out? I mean, like in each building they moved into, would it be something would be triggered that there are new residents of downtown, or how's that?
We will, so there's nothing permanent within there, and so sometimes we rely on other residents to help spread the message, and I think that is one of our overall struggles is we have a captive group of individuals that hears this information and receives this information, but how do we get to that next level? So as much as current residents can help us spread the word, if you have individuals, like just send them to the downtown committee and we can make sure they're connected with the resources. But then with the resident survey and doing the focus groups, in the past we've created posters that go up into the resident lobby, so putting that more on like a quarterly schedule to make sure we're touching each of those different leasing managers because there is turnover within the different properties. So mostly it's working through the leasing managers or property owners to make them aware of these resources.
No, that questioning, so right now we have the Symphony building that is already key ready. People are starting to move in. What else is that key ready around?
The Treasury building, so the former M&T Bank building was completed about a year ago. So people have started
So they're starting to move in.
to move in. So those are the,
Big time. I mean, their occupancy is way up. I don't have to tell anybody in this room, but, the occupancy level's
Like
99.9%. I mean, you can't build apartments today without it being pre-rented.
Right.
So that's the exciting part about, downtown.
Well, today we'll be considering the abandonment of across the street, the parking lot. I talked to the potential developer who's been, around downtown for years, and you know, that's going to be a big building, and then, of course, the Chimes building, you know, so, I mean, people want to live downtown, so.
President Pro Temp, if I
Not
may.
property available that isn't underway in terms of consideration for development, whether it's for office or residential.
Councilor Gathers?
Thank you. And then to piggyback off the conduciveness of the residents of downtown, just looking at the security budget on page 223, how many downtown committee security officers do you have currently?
We have 2 security officers that work the daytime shift, 2 security officers that work the evening shift, and then we have 2 like per diem that we
Gotcha.
call in to help fill shift work.
Gotcha. I do understand that they work very closely with SPD, and they've been doing a great job with helping secure the downtown area. Just wondering, in the budget, do you foresee, with the growth of the population of downtown, do you foresee hiring some more? Just, you know, yeah, I do understand. I know
It's a big
majority of
challenge.
them are retired
Safe and
police officers as
secure
well.
is one of the, the budget that we have is not enough, to be honest with you.
That's what I was.
okay?
That's what I was referring to.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that's why we're always, looking for advice, but we do try to, cover it. We do work with the Syracuse Police Department.
Absolutely.
We have a great staff
Mm-hmm.
on board, but safe and secure
Can you speak more into the mic?
Safe and secure is really an important issue to our downtown community. So yes, that's excellent.
Because that's just we've run into each other a lot, but just from the aspect of you doing all the marketing and we have a lot of tourists and people that would like to come into the downtown area. One of the bigger things, and it's not a reflection of the great work that you all do, but just constantly hearing the comment of, I don't feel safe going down there, and I just say to people that are coming into the city, I said, that's whatever you hear is just, some of it may be true what you read, but it's not 100% to say that downtown is not safe.
So there's a couple of different ways, I think, to your point, that we're trying to address it. So one of them is like the physical realm. And so trying to activate some of the storefronts, so something interesting that you're walking by helps make it feel less barren if there's not a retailer or an active storefront business within there. Right. We just last October installed street tree lights to connect the Marriott Syracuse downtown with Armory Square and Clinton Square. So those that was grant funded. Then we also have a Downtown Syracuse Foundation, which is our C3 fundraising entity that we manage. And so that with the city grant, we lit all those street trees. So lighting is really important, but then we also enter into a service agreement with the Syracuse Industrial Development Agency to provide additional security services. So with that proposal, we are looking to expand upon the current security hours to run later into the evening, as well as change the pay rate to make it, it's challenging to get retired law enforcement to fill the positions. There's a shortage and a lot of open positions, and whether it's the school districts that have hired CSOs who get summers off, and so you have to find ways to be competitive. Right. So this services agreement is another way we're looking to expand
At some point, it would
the
be
coverage. Yep.
increase in the budget for security aspects, I would feel.
Well, I think
because
it's a
on
good-
when we met with the police department, they were over between the downtown events and then the Armory Square. They were significantly over budget. So that is definitely an item of concern.
And not only that, on to transfer over to the marketing aspect of it, I don't know if you mentioned this or not, excuse my tardiness, but I was I want to say it was either Nashville or another city, and they had like a board or something like that just specifically said what to do. And it was just basically explaining to people. I think we used to have maps downtown to explain all the businesses. And I know it's hard to keep up with because of the transition of different businesses coming and going. But for people to, when they come downtown, to look at something to say, okay, we can go this route to go to eat, or go this route to go look at art or buy clothes or something like that. I think that'll be something nicer to take into consideration too, for people that don't know their downtown area.
Yeah, we are looking into piloting digital kiosks. And so that would be something too where we'd be able to, not interactive kiosks, but digital, that would be able to allow us to change the content
Gotcha.
with
Okay.
the businesses as they change. Right now, there's kiosks that have been installed in the 90s on Warren and Salina streets. And so we'll be repainting those this season to freshen them up. And those are what we use for like the poster project. We install their posters and then also have different advertisements from businesses. But with a digital kiosk, I'll look at Nashville
Yeah.
and see what they have there, but some type of, again, information, like when you get down here, what else is there to do?
Absolutely.
Are you working with neighborhood business development? Okay, because what bothers me, I've been in pharmacy retail for over 40 years, so I was really upset when Walgreens came in and they took down Rite Aid and they closed it. So the first time since I was born, there's no pharmacies. We want people to live downtown, and I really would like to see a pharmacy, and I would like to see a supermarket. Now, a lot of people just go up the price right, but if we could get something which is better than DG, that we can get fresh fruit and produce, we really need. Because Pat will remember, we had Mohegan's Market, we had A&P.
I don't remember. Mo.
You know, we had Walgreens, we had Whale Drugs.
fast
And we didn't have a downtown committee, and we certainly didn't have people living downtown like we do today. People took the bus. And I think these are the two important things that is really hurting, because people walk and live downtown, want to get the basics. Geez, I want to get a prescription, and I got to get in the car, got to call Uber, got to go out someplace out of the area, because we're a community, we're a neighborhood. We should have a grocery store. We should have a drugstore, and that's Potts on Walgreens.
Who's older out of you two, Councilor Hogan or Councilor Nye?
I think I'm old. But
And so Nicole is actually one of our board members, but also is a downtown resident. So where do you get your groceries?
I think you need to speak to the mic.
You have two grocery stores in downtown. There's the Salt City Market has the co-op, and then Epicuse actually is a boutique grocery. We have fresh produce there. You can get fresh proteins, heat and eat meals, pretty much anything that you need to do. And you know, one of the things, I've been living downtown for 12 years, and I hear that grocery store. I agree with the pharmacy. I really miss having the pharmacy downtown. But the idea of a full-blown grocery store, you can't compete with a Wegmans. So, you know, people who live downtown, they're still going out to Wegmans. We're a drivable city, too. So for people who do have transportation, I find a lot of them still, you know, you're going to go to Wegmans when you need all of that. So having that easy access to pick items up. There's some great little bodegas. The bodega on Warren Street is a great bodega. Couple other comments that have come up that I would, you know, the security downtown, I feel pretty safe downtown. The greatest challenge are the motorcycles who drive down sidewalks, the motorcycles who are doing wheelies down Salina Street. Those would be things that I would love to be able to stop.
Well, you know, we have special details for that. If you just give us a call, Chief Trudell, it's the ATV detail. They do a really good job in the neighborhoods, but that's some sort of the collaboration. And to Councilor Jones-Rouser's point about the overtime, the police department, certainly, I think we have to be cognizant of the bottom line as far as our departments go. And that's important, but in reality, the police department is, you know, understaffed. We have we fund 424 positions, and we never have more than 390 officers. So there's a lot of leeway as far as money goes, and it's just transferring from one line to another. The SPOs, which is the special patrol officers, you're right. You know, it's you know, they're retired officers, but they sometimes, you know, they want to work when they want to work, basically. And if they have a lot of other opportunities, I think we have to be cognizant that downtown sort of creates like 30 to 35% of our tax revenue for the city of Syracuse. So it's an investment every time we make the streets safer. And believe me, the city councilors talk to the police department quite a bit. I know you do too, America. You know, when there's officers visible and around, the perception is a lot, it sort of fortifies a perception of downtown being safer. So.
It's still weird even going downtown. I still remember catching the bus on Fayette Street in South Salina, and there'd be a Rite Aid right across the street.
Where were you going?
Well, you know,
Yeah,
if you want to
okay.
catch the bus.
Just drove the bus all night,
If you,
huh?
no, if
Just
you want
rode
to catch the bus to the fair, you go on Washington, they drive you out there to the fair, you come back.
You
You
missed
know?
the good old days.
Oh, jeez, Marty, let's cut it. Okay, you know, we have another meeting coming up. Are there any more
I wanted
questions?
to
in the
ask,
downtown?
the, difference in the, budget for the farmer's market, the 10K, increase. Is that based on like COVID years? Like,
So
what's that?
COVID was tough on changing the dynamics of our downtown farmers market because we were very much built around the employee crowd. And so with more employees working remote, that has changed the foot traffic for our downtown farmers market. So what that $10,000 represents is a grant, but then also the expense for hiring a farmers market liaison. So a position specifically dedicated to recruitment and building relationships with the farmers to get them to participate in our market.
Are you still doing the festivals, the smaller ones? Because you have your two.
We do,
very big
so, yep, so we do, so also, we also have another, I mentioned some additional financial resources, so our Downtown Syracuse Foundation goes after different grant funds. CNY Arts has been a fantastic supporter of our Lunchtime Live music series, so that is fun, that's resources you don't see on the Downtown Committee budget, but as part of our foundation's budget. So each week, we have live music with local artists, so 18 times a year at our downtown farmers market. So that's a way for us to, again, to draw more foot traffic into the market. And then we've also started going after sponsorships for the downtown farmers market to, again, help us put like a banner up across Salina Street, help us run TV ads so people know that the market's happening. And then we're also taking advantage of our different downtown enthusiast sponsors and resident advocates to help spread the news right to their offices or to their buildings that the farmers market's taking place. Thank you.
What's the travel and transportation, line?
That
item?
is our parking lot operation. So we have 3 different parking lots that we manage. None of the special assessment funding goes towards supporting that. But we have 2 parking lots that we manage across from Dinosaur Barbecue on Franklin Street that are open for evenings and weekends. And then we have another parking lot that we do monthly parking permits on Harold Place, just north of the Post Standard building. So the expense is the staffing.
Okay.
And then you'll see in the revenue, the program revenue transportation, what that generates on the cover page. And we did increase our parking rates, and we did some other things to, again, bring more resources into downtown.
Okay, now we have to segue into the Kraus Marshall.
Yes.
So we get Mr. Dallas up there. And then, sorry, Tony, you have to go over, sit on the bench now.
I'm over.
Tony.
Thank you. Thank you to our downtown committee board members for coming.
Yes, thank you, everybody. That was great. So I'm going to, a motion to adjourn the downtown committee meeting.
So moved.
Okay, second?
Second.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. We'll open up the Kraus Marshall Special Assessment District.